Oh, no problem. You guys have a good meeting.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. You're the bomb. Thank you.
Not enough hours of the day sometimes. I do apologize for everybody for being late. So is everybody tonight?
Good, really good.
Anybody need a?
Yes, I love one. My printer has decided not to work again.
Oh, I know what that's
Brand new.
like.
And it's like, yeah, I'm not good at doing it.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:40. Do we have our recording secretary with us tonight?
Sharon
She's
just
in
wanted
there
to
somewhere.
listen.
I'm sorry, Jim?
Sharon is just listening.
Oh,
She's
okay.
recording.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sherry. Really appreciate it. Okay, anybody taking any time to read the minutes from the November meeting?
I did when they came.
Any corrections?
No.
Okay. Accepted. All those, well, somebody want to make a.
Oh, can we unmute Sharon? How do we do that?
We need Sharon. Yeah.
Sharon has to be unmuted.
Well, this is annoying as hell, isn't it? I can't find my pen.
See, Sharon. Do you want me?
Sharon, can you hear us?
Whoops. You're not talking to me, are you? Whoop.
Okay,
No.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay,
Sharon.
Sharon, we can
Hi.
hear you now.
All right, happy
This
New
is,
Year.
this is Dana, not Sharon.
I know.
Okay,
You both.
Hold on.
okay. Now I've got a mess on here.
Somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. On to communications. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to put in as far as communications go?
Yes.
Okay, Missy.
Of course.
That's all right.
So I got several women, I'd say a total of 4 women, who asked me about the front of Fitch High School. So apparently there's complaints that it looks really like institutional in the front, and couldn't we plant something in the front of Fitch High School? So seeing that we're the Beautification Committee, they thought they better, address me about that. And then it was like over the course of 2 months, I've had 4 people come up to me about the front of Fitch High School. Could we plant some trees there, something that's blooming or something that, softens the look? And they said even the roof is melting. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're saying that some of the paint is like flushing down the front of the roof of Fitch High School. So that's nothing we can do.
No.
But the looks of the school is in question. So that was for individuals talk about that.
There's a very nice gentleman, works for the Board of Education, that is in charge of the buildings. Trying to remember his name, Scottish name. You know what? I will get the name, I will get the number, I'll talk to him, tell him that there's a concern, and could we meet with him and see what we could do or we could not do? How would that be?
We have money for
Next
training.
meeting or something.
We do have money for training. But is that do we want to? Doesn't the school have its own budget?
No, well, that's what
He'll be able to tell us. He's in charge of everything like that. So I expect they have a limited budget, but I would suggest that might be the best place to go first. Anybody have any other suggestions?
Well, I think he's the proper person to start with, because whatever you were gonna do, you'd have to talk to him anyway, right?
You know what I'll do, Missy, if you don't mind? I'll get his name and number, and I'll tell him that you're gonna be in touch with him.
Okay,
Since you've talked to them directly, I think that would probably be,
yep, let's go
Well-
ahead.
okay.
Other than that, no complaints, no other complaints, no other suggestions. The escrow point, I'll talk about that another place.
Okay.
Any other communications? Have you heard anything?
I got some, I got a letter from, State DOT. I brought this up once before. They're just asking us if we wanna, reconsider. I told them before that we weren't gonna sponsor I-95 around our exits because we didn't agree to do that. But, it's still open, and they still wanna know if we wanna do it. And if we have money that we wanna spend, we don't have anything to spend it on, I still think it would be a good project.
When you get off exit
I
88,
sent it to Leanne to send on if she wanted to, the letter actually, from the state,
Recently,
maybe 3 weeks ago.
I'll find it. I did.
That's one thing, and then I sent the, another missive that I got from, Tabitha. And, I had read one letter at the last meeting from them about what was going on with this, what they wanted to do with the sculpture project. And essentially, I just replied to them and sent that to you also, that we still have to get the contracts put together. Without that, there's no sense in going any further. And I don't really want to get more involved in it than I already have been. I put a huge amount of time and effort into this thing, but we still don't have the contracts. You're going to check with somebody to see if that,
I
that is
did,
a way to shake it loose.
yes, and I think we'll have it in a much simpler form, I would say within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And, I'll talk about the other part of that when we get around to it, so.
and we were just talking about that new committee, that art committee. There's no way you want to move that whole project over to the art committee. That's just.
You mean the sculpture thing?
That's not what they're focusing on. They're focusing on
I know.
performance spaces.
This is,
They're not gonna do
this
anything
is so
with buildings
complicated.
outside
This
other
whole
than
thing is so
transforming
complicated. I don't think that anybody new
inside.
should be
They
involved in
want
it,
$4 million.
frankly. And we know what to do and how to do it. It's just a question of a couple of things that need to be put in gear to make it happen, that's all.
Isn't it quite expensive to do those? We talked, which thing we talked about? I'm sorry.
We're just talking about the
exits.
sculptures.
Oh, sculptures, okay.
What
I was still on the exits.
Yeah, that would be not only dangerous, but it's dangerous working around those places.
Just for the heck of it, I copied something down from, with regard to public art. This is from Johnson City, Tennessee. They're doing exactly what we proposed. Exactly. And, so they're leasing sculptures, in other words, down there. It's a city of about 75,000 people. So other people, in other words, other people are doing it and successfully so. But it's a bit, there's a lot of stuff involved, a lot of moving parts, but we have all of them together. We know what to do and how to do it. We just need, the contract for the artists.
Okay.
But
well,
we
yeah,
have gotten from Tabitha, they wanted to start this thing already in January. And, we're not gonna be able to do that, but I mean, that was their idea.
What did she want to start in January?
She wants to start the sculpture project in January.
Well, I guess we gotta find out who's doing it.
Yeah.
I will politely say, I'd love to have a conversation with her. I got a letter today that kind of surprised me, so,
Well, we have people that are willing to, step up to play Corinne, which is the new gal that's taken over that department working for John Reiner. She's very enthusiastic about it, and so is Tabitha. So we've not had that kind of positivity before.
well, I talked with, Corinne,
Oh, you did?
and, she wants a spreadsheet on the entire project. And I told her, I said, look, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a spreadsheet person. You know, she wants what has been done, what will be done, what's the final outcome. And, so,
Bruce would be the best one to do that, but that's quite an ordeal. They're asking a lot of you.
Yeah, I can do it if, she just tells me exactly what she wants.
that was the problem. I said, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
So I want to, anything you want to talk with me about, I want to see a spreadsheet format.
And, but before we do any of that, we need that artist agreement. They've got to shake that loose.
I agree. I
Yeah,
So
agree.
let's ask for
because
that.
that's what's held everything up all along. Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree, and I have had conversations about it, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, we're gonna have some results relatively soon. As long as we're talking about that, I will tell you that, there was a chance we were gonna lose our money for it, because we had a date that we were supposed to be completing it. And, thanks to some help from different people I've spoken with, we're going to be able to continue to have that money carry over into this year. So that part's good, because I thought we were going to lose our money.
Yeah.
So I kind of put my energies into making sure that didn't happen. So we have the money. So my energies will now go into getting that contract. But I know it's being worked on. So trying to slim it down.
Who has it, you know?
John Burke.
John still has it?
It's not going to any attorney.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had it for 2 years now, so.
No, he doesn't. No, he didn't have it.
Well, I gave it to him in January of 2023.
Well, you know, the thing is, what you all have to know, and I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to be rude to anybody who works for the town, city, or anybody else, but there is a way that you have to do it. And if you don't do it that way, it isn't going to happen. So if you have an idea, if you run it by me, I think I could say, talk to this person. And that way we'll get it done. But if we don't do it that way, or if we duplicate calls, it won't happen. I apologize for being kind of blunt about it, but this is what I've learned, you know, and so I'm trying to go the way that I think it's gonna.
No, that's fine, you know. We had such a hassle with the murals and that agreement, those contracts we had. Before I did anything, when I was down in Florida, I sent that agreement to John House. I said, what's great? Let's go with that. And here we are, still, all this time later.
Okay, you sent it to who?
John Burke.
Oh, you sent him an agreement. I thought you said that you had given it to, Paige.
I did this last year, yeah.
Well,
I didn't give it to him, actually. I just asked him, you know, could we have it? And he sent it on, told me he was gonna send it on because of legal fund. But that's then, so.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you saw a draft or something, and it was so complicated and abstruse that no artist would be likely to find it?
That was the mural thing, yeah.
Ah, okay.
That kind of died on the vine, but, so we're on to newer and better things now.
They're independent artists because they don't like to be told what to do from the moment they were born. Right? Am I right? Hello?
Okay, well, I think,
Was Shirley's idea for the sculpture at the baseball location off the board?
the one that you talked about last time, the,
Shirley talked about it, yeah.
Really,
yeah.
She's not here, so we don't know.
Okay.
You remember she has a sculpture company that already has a sculpture.
of the,
Yeah, and you buy them, not lease them, so when you buy it, then you own it, and you don't have to, you know.
you know, the thing that
It's
kind of went
it's ending.
through my mind is that baseball field. I think she was talking about the one down going towards the airport.
Right, yes.
Okay. So it's kind of dropped by the wayside now, but there's been a lot of talk about what's gonna go over across from the library and the senior center. You know, with schools coming down. And that's supposed to become a sports center of some sort. I have to say that I feel that if we were doing something like that, if they do a baseball field over there, the exposure would be much greater, unfortunately, than the other field. I'd like to do something for the other field, but I don't know if I'd want to put that kind of money into the sculpture.
That's a good point. I've been to Burroughs, I've been to the smaller one, the Burroughs one with my dogs many times at odd hours, and there's never anybody there, except maybe somebody that's bringing their boat in on the ramp there.
I mean, I'm not adverse to it. I'm only one person. You all, you know.
I looked at that website. Those are pretty good prices on those things. I mean,
thought
they really are.
I was talking about bronze.
If we ever went ahead with it, we would have to ask them specifically what kind of a base it needs. I couldn't find that information on the website.
And also, did they talk about shipping costs? Because bronze ain't light. Was there?
It's not too far. Aren't they down in New Jersey or something?
I thought they were in Louisiana, but.
More importantly, you know, we may be kind of like duplicating a service that we don't need to if we're gonna have a really good field, brand new field that's gonna probably have the Little League go there. How can we find out if the Little League will move from there to the new spot?
No, I'm sure they'll still continue to use the field, but it'll probably be used by more people, because if remembering the plan, which is vague in my mind, but that might be somebody that would be good to have come to a meeting with it. I could ask Mark Berry if we could invite. There's a gentleman that works with him on all the different proposals, and he could maybe come and talk to us and show us what they're going to try to have on that corner.
There's plenty of space. They could have thing.
Well, that was kind of the plan. It's going to be a multiple fields.
And
Right across
even
from
more
the library.
parking right off the
Right.
bat, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
Burroughs.
Is the whole school gonna be ripped down?
I believe so.
Well, there's different plans, because I think Chad Frost is working with Mark.
Yes. Yeah.
They're doing the plan, and it's just the different phases that, as the town is not known for doing things tomorrow. So again, we've sat in on Chad's proposals for Sutton Park. So I think Sutton Park was happening before, and that's soon to be moving in the spokes of the wheel.
Yeah, that was in the flyer they sent out.
Yes, but then it's the big one opposite the library. The libraries, again, that's with the submarine, Groton, that sale field, the sale committee stuff. So I'm just curious with the time frame, if our limited manpower, if we should worry about.
The baseball field that Shirley's saying.
Well, that's established and that's there. These fields might be coming 20 years from now.
Well, but even if it's 2 years,
But-
it's gonna make a big mess.
Yeah,
It won't
but
be 2 years. It won't be 2 years. I don't think we don't have the money for it, right? They're gonna have to, it's gonna be voted on and all that kind of stuff, so.
the Burroughs Field is there, it's getting used by the kids now, so that's
Okay.
something, that's how I feel, instead of saying, let's wait, if we wait. Sun Park, I think that's been going on for 5 years now, probably.
And there's a chance we could always move that sculpture. If Burroughs Field becomes, defunct, we could always move.
No, I don't
the
think
sculpture.
it's,
Never go to
a playing field will never go to fun, it's just they're adding more fields. Because from what I've seen, it's like mainly like lacrosse, football, soccer, multi-purpose, ultimate frisbee, and so those are general big fields versus,
a baseball field.
and Sutton Park is what they're trying to add, I think, better fields, better.
Well, that's part of that whole project now. It's a huge project between the library and the senior center and
huge.
Sutton Park.
Correct,
That's a gigantic.
You know that building is loaded with asbestos just because of the age of it. That's a huge deal. You can't have asbestos floating over to the kids' playground right there at
Where's the asbestos?
in the school building itself. Anything before 1956 is just chock full of asbestos. It's just the way they built.
Let's not get distracted.
No, I'm just saying,
That's
but
If
the
they take
thing is, it's gonna take forever just to take it away, because if you start breaking up asbestos, you have to use all that, EPA stuff.
But
To get it out of it.
go ahead with Borough Fields or not? I think that's what we should maybe vote on.
Let's vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put
Make a motion.
Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we, go ahead with the sculpture at Borough Field.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. What we're gonna have to do though, what am I reading?
I'm going ahead. Yeah, aye. I'm an aye too. I was just thinking for a second.
So everybody's an aye? 1, 2,
Yeah.
5.
All right, so what that means now, we're gonna have to meet with, who came in with the plan?
Surely.
Shirley. And to go over cost, and then meet with Public Works to see if they'll do a base, and so.
Shirley can run that pretty well though. She'll be able to run that, I think. We
Okay,
can help her, but I think she'll
We'll
run it.
have to find out what kind of base it needs, if in fact it needs a base.
I'm sure the company will say something,
Yeah, they should.
and
they
then
should
they'll give you
tell us.
specs that, you have a choice of certain,
How much was that thing? I forgot now.
$2,000 or $3,000.
It was
It
more
was
than that.
real reasonable. No,
Wasn't it like $4,000 or $5,000?
Mhm.
No,
I thought it was.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
so it was like, in the minutes, I think it was $4,000 or $5,000. It was in the minutes.
Wait, it
That's
should
what
be
I
in the
recall.
minutes.
$4,500.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so what we need to do,
So
we
you
don't,
think maybe 1,000 for a base?
well,
What are they?
Public Works
Well,
can deal
if
with
Public Works would put one together for just a few $100 for us if we need it.
I think we have to have a base.
You'd have to have
Because
some.
we already went through this, I went through this with Paige, in fact, to get a number for him to put a base together. I forget what it was like, $300 or something like that.
Yeah.
Not much money.
Okay.
And this is a relatively small sculpture too.
Yeah,
Can this
So
in
we
any
wouldn't
way
need-
roll into the other sculpture project that we're having? Some may be stationary, some may be rented. Can in any way be the beginning of the money, the funds that we have for our sculpture fund?
You mean, could we use what we have now for the, that's been allocated?
Start it, where you've
I
got the money
suppose-
for
I
a
suppose
year,
we
why
could.
can't we
I
start it?
suppose we could, yeah.
Could be the first, and the others could be, rented like we talked about, but get it rolling.
Okay, I'll, get updated figures on what we have for money.
And for the minutes, are you looking at ARPA money? Is that what that is?
For some reason, I'm not understanding of which.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's ARPA money, is it ARPA money?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
which we were able to keep,
extend a little bit longer.
extend into this year.
mhm.
Okay, so I'll get an update on that.
And speaking of sculptures, though, have you seen that troll that they have, a troll sculpture, wooden sculpture, gigantic, made out of natural,
I saw a
Vinaigrette
picture of it,
Park.
where was it?
vinaigrette park?
Vinaigrette Park.
Yeah,
Vinaigrette?
There's two of them. It's
spectacular, spectacular. I mean, if we could get one of those someplace down by the Riverwalk or something where the gazebo is, or in that area, they are spectacular. People are coming from other states to see those.
What is it?
Well,
They're trolls. They're
Okay.
fictional characters made out of
Oh,
wood, all
okay.
natural. And there's a sculpture guy who's doing that.
I believe it's a guy from Denmark. It's one of the Scandinavian
do
countries.
you know how much it costs? That's kind of the unknown. These things they're beautiful. I mean,
Oh, that.
But if Mini-Grid can,
But Rhode Island has a penchant for doing that, because they have some of that stuff on I-95 going to Providence. They have some trolls on the bridge abutments.
Side of the bridge.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool.
even in Westerly, the Westerly Park, there's a little park on the water there, they have, these most incredible xylophones for the public to use. You can go for a walk by the river as you're waiting for your, restaurant reservation, and then there's these two sets of, one's a vertical and one's a horizontal public xylophone that you can play on while you're walking
They have one
there.
of those in Holistic Village.
And
Yeah.
they're so incredibly popular. People are just loving them.
Mm.
And that's part of art. Music is kind of like
Absolutely.
Interactive.
that's something we could consider. I don't know where we put it so it wouldn't bother the neighbors or, but it's
Probably on the beach.
So if we would go forward with that,
well, then surely I'm excited about that project.
since, we're kind of going with these different things, we had talked about another subject that, we might as well throw into the pot, was we were gonna try to work with some of the businesses downtown.
Yeah.
And, I spoke with the owner of, maybe I told you this, Groton Shopping Center. Names too, we're not using. And, very interested in having us work with him. Putting together a plan to make the green look better. He was going to look at the possibility of working with us and putting in food trucks, probably like 3 nights a week. And so what we do is try to create a pretty place for them to,
And people to sit after they get their food, and yeah.
and if we got that, then we could probably get some small concerts, and there's a lot of ways it could grow.
So is that where Benny's used to be, in that place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, I went to a whole bunch of those food truck places that kind of disappear and then get set up and then get taken down, and boy, they bring in a lot of business.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to talk with you before I talk with him more. He's a little reluctant because of the recording to be part of our meeting, and I understand that. So, we'll figure out something.
We were talking about a new business that opened up there, in that plaza.
I guess one's going out, one's coming in. Somebody said that the one that was been there for all those years maybe was going out. And the new one, I think it's, more weights and that type of thing. You know, it's a whole different,
Sauna classes, I'm a charter member. Sauna and classes, gonna be really kind of, it's kind of got a very classy vibe to it that, you know, there's like other ones down
right,
the line.
Renegade's the other one that's in there, and I believe they're going out.
Oh,
I'm not sure, you know, you
That's
hear
a
all
big
kinds of
space to
things you
be
don't
empty
know.
if the one that's there is gone. That place is huge.
Renegade,
Yeah, that's huge.
I haven't been in
Used to
there
be a
since it
member.
was a clothing store.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I've been there too. Yes, it's been, but that's gonna be, if it's empty, that's gonna look bad.
Okay. I will,
so you wanted us to, when we talk about businesses, we were just talking like, how do you see that happening? We talked about having an intro letter first that would maybe say, hi, we're the Beautification Committee, and we're just talking to businesses in downtown. Do you see writing a letter like that?
yeah,
We could carry with us.
well, we could do that, but also economic development has the addresses of all the businesses on that entire area from the base all the way down, I believe. And so, I think if we were to talk with them and if we put together a letter, I think they would probably, I don't know which kind of address is, to tell you the truth, whether it's an email address or an actual address. So I would need somebody to talk with them, and we'd probably talk with, oh God, I should have stayed home tonight.
Robin Forrest?
Which is
Robert Forrest?
Or,
No, who's working with us with the Parks and Rec? No, with Economic Development,
economic development?
yeah. Well, anyways, I believe the Economic Development has the mailing list. And I think if we explain to them what we were doing and what our ultimate goal is, I'm sure that we could get them to however they want to do it, whether they want to put the addresses on them and we pay for the postage and so
Well,
forth.
how about just a letter that we would carry in almost as an introduction? I mean, like, and do it more in a personal way. You gave us 4 or 5 to do it a month. Personally, 2 of us maybe would take that job on, and we'd go in and we'd talk to the business and say, hi, we're
We need
doing
the
it.
right contact person, though. That makes a big difference, so.
Because I was in here taking the pictures for the wreaths, and I happened to catch John Reiner in the hallway, and I asked him if there was a list. And he pointed me towards Town Hall for the,
Taxes.
taxes. It's the people, not the tax window, but what's
The assessors.
the assessor's office. I went to the assessor's office. They came back and told me that the only way you can get the names, they don't have a list. And you'd have to go to the GIS and individually go by each address and copy down.
Wow.
With a contact
So
person.
is there an economic development committee other than?
Yes, there is. And Robert Boyd is the head of the committee. I think it's BOISE. He's down on Thames Street in the city. He's the head of the EDC committee. But I think we would have to go to the new director. We could talk to Bob. He'd probably be very happy to do it with us because they've been trying to do a reach out program. They've gone to a lot of the businesses and talked to them about different programs that are available for them to help them improve their business or update something or replace something. There are monies for it. And I know they've been doing that, but I'm quite sure they have a list. And if you want to call the new director and ask her,
Who's the,
Is it Corinne?
yes, Corinne.
Well, rather, a list would be good to have, but really, don't we want to target, 1 or 2 places and kind of make an example out of them so that we can show what we could do?
Before and
As
after
opposed to going,
pictures.
spreading ourselves thin and going to
well,
a lot of people.
that's why, if I talk to the committee head, see if it's the Robert, is it Boyce, you said?
Or Boris.
Okay. But if there's people they've already hit up, we can piggyback on.
I see it as being a very personal, kind of a very
I do too. I think that's
non-threatening
the only way
approach.
it'll
No,
succeed.
but that's what I mean, if they've contacted, I don't want to be having 2 committees
Mhm.
concentrating on different areas. If we can,
Quite honestly, if we're going to, the smaller businesses we could talk to personally. The larger ones, we have to find out who's the owner of the complexes. Because they're the ones that are going to have to agree to what we might think we could do for our place.
Yeah, if you wanted to go do something at AutoZone, for instance, which is a kind of a key place, that's owned by a real estate investment trust, which you can hardly get a hold of because I tried it once when we were talking about murals.
I actually know how to get the names and addresses of owners of corporations. And it's, every library has something called Thomas's, which is a directory in book form that lists every CEO and top executive and their address and their contact information. All you can do it over the phone. You can call the library. I've done it when I've done complaint letters. You call up the library and I need the name of General Dynamics, whatever, they smashed my car or something, and they'll get back to you within the same day with the name and address of the business address, not the home address, of the person that is in charge of that company.
Well,
They've had them for 100 years, Thomas's. It's
I think there's a way
Probably
to
in a
do
line,
that, and for instance, I went over and I talked to CVS about putting a mural on their building, which they were happy to do. I was talking to the manager. The manager said, sounds like a good idea. I need my people up in Providence to okay it at CVS's main headquarters. He went to them, and I sent him a letter and corroborated what was gonna happen. But I mean, the local contact, even if it's not the business owner,
It's
the
a great way to
manager,
start.
you know, makes it kind of grease the wheels a little bit to make it happen.
There's a new, a men's hair cutting place, barbershop, I guess it's called, in the strip, you know, where you going just before the, barn, that.
Yeah. I know.
So, I know Gary went there and it's a fabulous new place. It's really nice on the inside and all that. Like if you went there and you said, hey, you think in the summer you could put out 3 big pots or 2 big pots? We can even tell you what kind of plants to put in there. You know, I think they'd be receptive to that.
Very happy to do it.
But if I get contact with Robert Bohr, see if they've concentrated, and if he thinks there's a strip that we can say, this is our example, and then spread out from that strip. Instead of getting everybody with one letter, they're gonna say, well, I don't want to be the first one, because if they're gonna be happy that I put one hanging basket in front of my shop, I'm gonna stop at that. But if we can start with, again, I'll take the action to call the guy.
Okay, I have his phone. I have his phone number. I left my phone.
I don't
in the
agree
car.
with the strip. I think we can just,
No,
It's
but
I think we're thinking about 2 different things. The letter that we're originally talking about was one that we could carry with us, so we can walk into a business as a person of standing, not just some strange woman that walked in off the street and wants to, you know.
yeah, but
And so that we could like a laminated letter that says, this is so-and-so from the town beautification committee, and we're here to help you, list of things, and you can show it to the owner and then take it with you to the next one, so that they know they're not talking to, who the
well,
hell are
I'm
you,
not
lady?
even trying to make it an individual thing. I'm trying to make it a committee thing. I
Yes.
represent the beautification committee. They don't need to know
Yes.
my name. They don't need to know a lot about me. But I go in very professionally and talk about, you know, hey, we're doing this, and I just gave an award to the barn, and I just gave an award here.
Yes.
And we're hoping that, you know, more and more businesses are reaching out and hoping that you'll put in a couple of planters for the tooth, you know, that giant tooth. You could just soften that tooth with some flowers around it. We love it. And we can help you pick the flowers if you want. You know, we'll decide which one would go in that spot perfectly. But, you know, these are the kind of way. Do you agree? Do you think that's not going to work?
No,
Well-
I think that's a personal approach.
well, it's a personal approach, but we shouldn't go to say, I think we need to concentrate on where we have the starting point,
Okay.
instead of doing it wherever we drop by. Because I've been in Sherman-Williams there on the strip buying paint for the house. And I said, I'm on the beautification committee. Do you think, would you guys be willing to participate? And his answer was, corporate controls the money, but he says, if you guys come up with a plan that I could take, he said, but as far as, and he says, it's a corporate store, it's not a local store.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we just need to, and if we're talking about like the food trucks, that's a dynamite area to start, because
Well, that was kind of my thought. I think your approach is good though too, because if you can encourage somebody to do a little something to spiff their place up, that's wonderful. But I think if we could do the bigger projects so people could see it and enjoy it.
But there, we also have, again, if I don't even want to think that Renegade's leaving, because that's,
I could be wrong.
no, but what I'm saying, you have an active business, the guy that has the barber shop, that's gone through different owners, they always have different things. I'm sure they would not play along, they'd be interested in joining in. If we could say, I have a deal with, I wish there was a court garden center in Groton, but say I go up to Holdridge's and says, if we're trying to get all the businesses,
Well, maybe we could work up
Would-
discount or something.
would there be a deal
bulk
that you'd be
discount.
willing to give us the half whiskey barrels? Well,
Yeah.
just for use of names, those planters, if we convince a bunch of businesses to start even putting those in, or saying like the artwork that's at the bridge, if we can, would you be willing to sponsor a student up at the high school? But we need to have a start, and if we start with flowers or start with possibly with the seasons, with, see if we can find kids at the art department that a person might want to, but the kids are so busy nowadays. But let's start small and then go big, because if we go,
I'm hearing mixed approaches. We don't know what approach you want to take.
Well, I think I would like to work on the possibility of creating a nice area for food trucks. I think that would be a really good thing. I think we finally would have something that could get people out of all those apartments that are back there that you don't see downtown.
correct, and is he willing to give us the paved area? For the food trucks,
go?
yeah. So I'm just curious of,
Well, I don't have any guarantees. We
Correct.
talked about it. He was interested.
I-
Very.
I'd like to sit and talk, and then I can go with the individual, since it's not just out of his pocket. I know the
Yeah.
grocery store went under. If we can have businesses like donate, where I'm sure the post office doesn't have funding for stuff like that, but the post office has some planners there. If we could find different gardeners willing to adopt the places that probably aren't going to do it on their own.
Let's just get some ideas firmly down on paper about, you'd have to identify a little
First,
square,
First, we've got to have another talk with the owner.
Right.
Yes.
See if he's as enthusiastic as he was the first time I
Okay.
talked to him. And I'd like to have one of you, whoever would like to go with me.
I know.
And then, once we have that conversation, then if maybe we, for this year, concentrated on the green that's back there.
What green? Tell me what
Where the
green.
bus stop is. The one
Down
behind
there,
the,
right across from the post office.
behind the
Across from post
businesses
office,
that are
there's a big
along
green
Long Hill
area.
Road.
Okay.
But is that town-owned or is that the
Yeah.
shop?
That's Town Shopping Center.
Yeah.
But I talked with him about doing, that was the area that I said,
What? No?
Nothing.
doing, some flowers and maybe a couple benches and a few things to make it look more attractive. He would work on finding the food trucks that would like to come in maybe 2 or 3 nights a week. And, we could start there. I mean, when you look at the flowers on the entrance to the apartment complexes around here, they're beautiful. And I don't know what they put in there, but it doesn't seem like it's something that takes an awful lot of care. But they're bright, they're cheery, they're welcoming.
And they change. Like you go back in March and it's completely different than it was in August, which is
I
nice.
have no idea what this green area is.
Tri-Sec Road, it's like the ledges and Electrum has flowers. I can,
Go to the post office.
Go to the post office and when you where the buses stop,
When you're going into the post office, just stop, turn around, and you're gonna see the green. On the green, you're gonna see the Christmas tree that was planted by the Groton Business Association many years ago.
I did not know that.
And there's a plaque down there that needs to be redone. But it's a nice open area, plenty of room. You wouldn't have to worry about kids running around. With,
There's actually parking.
Post office is closed at night, so you're not gonna, if you use that parking, it doesn't help.
Right. Even the buses go down at night, so it isn't like, because that's the main traffic back
So
there.
let's
is the
look into
buses.
that. Let's look into that area. And what about, reaching out to the individual businesses along the main street? you want us to start or stop or what?
Well, why don't you put together a letter of what you feel would be appropriate,
An intro letter.
and then put it out to the members. We'll take a look at it, and maybe for the next meeting, we could finalize what we'd like to be going out there.
Because you need
early
something
spring.
official.
Dana, is there any chance you could help with that? An intro letter?
Here, I could read.
No, you're asking me? I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed at home. I just can't.
How about Sharon?
Okay, I didn't know if you're talking to me or not.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Do you think you could help write an intro letter? That would be something I would take to a business to say, hi, I'm from the Beautification Committee. We're trying to jazz up the whole Main Street area, and we're wondering whether you'd consider planters or flowers or something in the front to
I could do that, but I can certainly do that. Pretty much what you said is what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a shot at that.
No, we could help them. We could help them with the design if they wanted, which, you know, if somebody doesn't know what to put in their window box or what to put in their planters, we could possibly help them with that.
You know, it would be better if we put the bill for it, you know, initially anyway. I mean, I can't imagine there's gonna be a lot of businesses that are gonna go for that.
Well, why don't we do some pricing of them?
Yeah. Sure.
And then see what it would be, and maybe we could say the first 10 that got involved. We
You know who would be good to talk to is the guy, Pete Woods, the guy that we got to do the garden over there.
Oh, yeah, he's so nice.
Because he does all of that. That's what he does.
Which garden did he do?
The one in
front of
the town hall.
Okay.
He does the
It is good.
marinas, stuff like that with those, with planters.
Uh-huh.
So he can give us a good idea. So when you walked in to talk to somebody, you can say, well, this costs $150, let's say.
And most small businesses.
Well, he's probably got
Would
resources where
that would
he
be
can get stuff
exactly,
way
yeah.
cheaper.
But if we
Yeah.
said, you know, like say, maybe make it a little bit of an incentive that will,
Mhm.
for the first 10,
Mhm.
we'll do it.
Mhm.
And
We could offer to buy the gel, the swelling gel that you put in them that keeps the things looking nice if somebody forgets to water them. It isn't that expensive, and it works like a charm. Especially, you know, because the
What
main
is it,
problem
Ann?
is people, it's like, looks like little white beads. And it holds 12 to 15 times its water when you water it. So you have to smoke it before you plant it, otherwise all the dirt comes out. I don't know how I know this, but anyway. And it keeps things watered without having to be fiddled around with for up to 10 days, depending on how much sun it gets, which makes it a lot better looking plants because they're constantly nourished with the water. And it also makes it a lot less work for the people looking after them, because if they don't forget,
yeah,
you know, if you don't have that in there, they forget one day on some of these summer days we have, and you're like, that's the end of those things, you know?
Sharon, help me write that letter if you would. I appreciate that,
Sure.
okay?
Get the name of them.
Is Pete Wood just under Pete Wood in the book, or is he,
I've got his cell phone number.
can you send me a text? Or,
Yeah, he's been a wonderful resource for
Yeah.
us, so.
yeah.
I will get the name of the gel beads. It's coming up. I'll go on Amazon and figure out which ones I bought. They're not
We've got,
expensive.
don't worry about it. We've got
It's,
plenty of real pros.
860.
Don't worry about that. We've got-
861
Yeah.
7900.
Okay. What was that, 861?
7900.
okay, and that's like his idea of what a good plan that we could, and a rough idea of
Yeah,
the cost.
because that's the first question that a business owner is
Yeah.
going to ask you. How much is it going to cost me?
True.
Well, it depends on the container, and we kind of want everyone to decide on their own container. You don't want to dictate what container they have to put out front.
No.
Wouldn't you want to have it be kind of the same thing for all of them?
You're thinking like Mystic, whether it's window box is the size all along everything. There is some uniformity in that, but I don't know if it.
I mean, you might make a better statement that way,
If we had.
and you
one
might get a better
supervisor.
price on things that, rather than individually.
Where are you talking about these going?
In front of businesses.
Okay, so on the sidewalk?
Well, it'll depend on what kind of space there is there, but I know down in the city, on Thames Street, they put them on the sidewalk.
Because where my daughter lives in Atlanta, Cabbagetown, they have these funky, like, big plastic planters that hang from the light post, like halfway up. And different businesses, like the hardware store would have hose and shovels sticking out of it. The flower shop would go crazy with the flowers, and people aim it towards what their business is. But that would be contacting the utility company and getting their buy-in also. But I think if we concentrate initially on in front of the businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need different containers for different places. So I don't think that we need to have them all the same. I think they could be, like for instance, Jude Sushi, they have a smaller entranceway. They could have something to the left and the right of the main door, but someplace else only has room for a couple in front of the windows, the front of the building. So it's a different space is needed for, a different container is needed for each area.
Yeah, because there might be laws about the width of the walkway and things that you can't obstruct. So it might have to be square or rectangular or something to leave
Well,
whatever the zoning calls.
Peter might be a source as to.
Let me start with him, because
Yeah.
that's why I said we can talk this to death.
Right.
So if we go with Peter,
Yep.
because that's why I said, I'll have to go back through notes and see who the EB point of contact, because that's a big building there, and we say, okay, EB was willing to listen, and if I can give her a call.
Jessica is the one that showed up at our meeting. I think I put that in that email I sent out to everybody,
Jessica showed up.
didn't I?
From EB?
Yes.
I'll send you a text tomorrow.
All right. It was in the email that I sent out about ideas that I had. Her name was, I don't have her phone number, but I had her name. I think Cindy had her phone number.
Okay,
If you can't get it, let me know, I can get it for you.
It's on, I'll resend that email I sent out.
okay.
So it is about containers, or can we get containers of different sizes maybe?
Well, and that's like,
Ask Pete. He's gonna know better than anybody.
Pete can say, this is what you're gonna need. The soil's gonna cost this much.
And I also have a lot of nurseries that I work with through my garden club that I can also check on.
Yes.
Too. So there's 2 or 3 that I know of. That, okay, so we'll start there.
Yeah.
Don't promise it to them though. Let's just.
Okay, all right, let's move on a little bit here, because we're gonna be here rather late to keep going. But these ideas are wonderful, and if with everybody taking on something, it's gonna happen. I wanted to really, really thank Missy and Jim, because you all did the heavy lifting with the Beautification Awards, and really, really appreciate that. And the town building decorations. I think that was marvelous, and I wanted to let the town know how much these 2 are doing for us.
Thank you.
And also, Missy and who went with you when you did the awards? Is that Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, because those are 2 great projects, and you made them happen, which is wonderful. I got a thing today from, I got a letter late this afternoon from Mark Berry with some thoughts about your fish. And I got back to him and told him I appreciate very much the fact that they had some ideas and that they wanted to be involved. Because I had talked to them about waiting till spring. I didn't want it to happen in November. I hope you all felt the same way.
We did.
We agree on that.
Yeah.
We agree.
So now, they're talking about, now, I haven't talked to him directly, so I don't know if he's saying you should do this, or will do this to help. I haven't got that far yet, because I just got this at 4:28. Anyways, they were talking about creating a hashtag, naming the fish at work. I don't know what that means. Giving the fish at work a name makes the sign more relatable and memorial. That's what it is. I don't know. Anybody know what at work is?
How do you spell it?
ARTWRK?
Artwork?
Artwork.
Yeah, I think it's just artwork, yeah.
Should it be separated? Maybe that's what's messing me up.
No, that's okay. Don't we have a name for it already?
We've been calling it Freddie the Fish, but there was some talk about putting it out into the schools and letting maybe the schools come up with, some proposals, and then we would pick from that. So making it more of a community
Right.
event. So is that what he would like?
Giving the fish
He just wants a name.
a name makes the sign more relatable and memorial and
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah, yeah.
We
We have a name for him, we're gonna make it kind of like Freddie the Fish. Freddie says, marine garbage, kills sea creatures, please pick up small pieces of plastic, bottles, wrappers. It's supposed to be an educational sign, but to have a name, we always attempt to give it a name. Whether we give it a name or the schools give it a name, is that what he's getting at, I'm wondering?
I don't know, they had suggested Groton's Gill. Gill, like the side of the fish,
Yeah.
But,
Kill, yeah.
how do you pronounce it?
Gill,
Yeah.
but it's too close to kill.
Yeah.
Not just that, but it's gross intestine kind of a, you know what I mean? If you have a look at gills,
Well, anyways, I will send this to all of you,
Okay,
and you can read it over.
so is it gonna happen in the spring?
I think we should have it in the spring.
Mhm.
if you're gonna have a contest in the schools, though, you kind of need to get it underway, because it's just gonna take.
Well, I thought what we could do, if anybody would like to do it, maybe, who's the head of the Board of Education now? Oh God, she was for many years and she just went back on.
It's not the Washington, is it?
She's gonna kill me because she's a friend of mine.
It'll come to at 3 a.m., you can
Yes,
call us.
it will.
Yes.
But
All the time.
I would be happy to ask her who we need to talk to, or can the Board of Education make the decision that we're gonna do this? What grade would they think it was appropriate for?
Need posters.
And then we could, take it from there. But maybe we need to find out how to approach it so that we do it.
Need posters in a box, like a suggestion box in the schools. Big poster
No,
that says name the
yes,
fish,
well,
picture
let
of
the
the
teacher
fish,
take over.
put your suggested name with your name on it, put it in the box, and then somebody in the school randomly picks one, or
Well,
they vote or something.
Or could it be done at Parks and Rec at the community center? Maybe a little smaller so it's not so overwhelming, just a thought. They have classes there and stuff.
No, let Parks and Rec come up with the name. But
No, I didn't say the Parks and Rec come up with a name. I said, do the survey at the Parks and Rec at the community center.
yeah,
That good one.
all right. Well, let me talk to my friend that's the head of the Board of Education now. Could you give us some suggestions on the direction?
They must have done this before in some way or another.
Right, yeah, they're naming things all
Bob's
the
been
time.
working on the sign itself and what it's gonna say, so at some point we have to, let's get the verbiage out and get that approved. But I've talked to people at various places, including the aquarium, teachers, so the verbiage will have all down. If they want to give it a name, we just have to figure out how they want to give the name.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, good criteria, because then you're hoping that the 8th grader says to his parents, let's take this stuff to Freddie for whatever reason.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get this out to all of you, and I will,
Cool.
Bev Washington's the
that's it. Thank you. What's her first
chair.
name?
Beverly.
Beverly, of
So
course.
now you can sleep.
I would anyways. I just wake up, I keep a pad of paper there, I write down what came into my brain.
I do that.
I'll give her a call.
Sometimes you see really good stuff on the pad in the morning, and other times you go, really?
I woke up one morning and my husband, what's this listing? He said, you were pretty much the party girl last night, and you admitted to what you got a listing. I said, but it's in Maine. Oh, that's funny. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that's everything I had on here for tonight. Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up, do you think, instead of putting the pressure on you, should we put, I'd like to see spread out the responsibilities between the board, the committee members and the staff on who the point of contact should be other than you. If you want to spread it out, because I don't know what, that's why I said, I see John I go to the different planning meetings and whatnot.
Well, you know,
Or if you still want it,
no, I don't need to have it. I meet with John regularly, so it's easy for me to do.
Yeah.
But I don't have any problem with that at all. But I really think if you want an answer from somebody, it's not good to get it on the fly. I think, and I have no problem. You can call and say, Leanne, you know, our chair suggested that I call. Could we meet? I have questions. Then, whatever you talk about is going to be validated.
correct, it's just the fact that instead of, like, people make comments about different properties, John had mentioned, I have a person that if you do the right forms, maybe I could have, you sit down, talk to that person, and we can have, we know there's from the committee, it's like, okay, people call Mitzi, complain about seeing somebody's backyard or whatever, and I can make sure the forms have been filled out, and the guy, the paid staff member, at least is aware of it.
Sure. I'm probably being too controlling, and I apologize for that. It's just that sometimes when you talk to somebody, they're coming out of a meeting, something else is in their head. You're going to talk to them. It's not going into their head the way you want it to. And sometimes they really, and, you know.
By the time they get in their car, they forgot the conversation.
You can text John, he's very good about
Yeah.
returning texts.
And
So, you might, what you might do is talk to him, text him afterwards and say, you know, I know you were in another world at that point, you know, and then it just kind of cements it a little bit.
Okay.
just to remind you,
Because, you know,
it's all a fill in it.
it's just the way that I've gotten, so I've done things for the years I've been involved and I found it to be very successful.
We need these tests, we do, so thank you. I think we need them. We don't know what we're doing, so.
Well,
it's important.
you are doing a
Yeah.
wonderful job, you guys really are, and,
I have a new member coming next month. So I'll see if he's interested in just helping the town look nicer.
yeah.
He's an older man, so he's coming.
Just so you would know, I was gonna ask Missy if she'd run the meetings. I'm going to Florida. I'll be on the Zoom meetings, but I think it's better if somebody here runs the meeting. And if you don't mind, I would greatly appreciate it.
As long as you'll be on the Zoom.
I'll be there. I will be there. And,
But
anything.
warm. You'll be.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. It's been a very busy year. I had two, white planters donated to us. They're actually for on a railing. So if anybody has something that comes to mind, I'll be happy to get them to you. If you come up with something, they're about this big, they're deep, and they have the
hooks for the rail.
something.
Like if somebody has a deck, but you gotta have a specific thickness of wood for them most of the time.
And this one's round. But I figured we can find a place to put them. We'll probably have to get something better to attach them. But
Well, the reason they're deep is because if you have the piping type of railing, it goes around and around, but if there wasn't another deck rail down below to hold it, it would just dump itself as soon as you flung it. So that's, it's specific. They can't just be used anywhere without
right.
a roll or something, whatever they made out of.
Is there anything else anybody wanted to discuss tonight?
No, we need to keep an eye out for more beautification awards. Keep looking.
I have to tell you, I went by those places you gave the award to last night. I had to run out, and there was a stupid errand because everything was closed. But they looked great. Even last night when they hadn't even been open all day, there was so much.
Well, we'll just keep encouraging them. It might be nice, if you want to, do something for that new barber shop.
I like that woman's shop right next door.
Yes, that's lovely.
That's lovely. When it's lit up, you can see everything hanging, all these hanging plants and tree branches.
Yeah, it makes almost go off the road. You're like, wow.
I'm sorry?
Which new barber shop?
It's right next to this woman's,
Was that Woods?
right before the barn.
Okay,
There.
right by the, okay, I know which barber shop.
Yeah, there's a men's barber shop and then there's also woman's shop. What would you call it?
Wildflower.
Do you know which one it is, Sharon?
It's Wildflower.
Wildflower is the one.
Wildflower. I think that's gonna be my next award. I think it looks lovely even in winter. The window is all lit up with all the plants.
No, I think that's wonderful. You're doing a great job with it. And,
The only problem with that is it's so pretty, and then you go another 100 feet to the
do
pizza.
you want to call, and ask him if he would work with us on the base of the, whatever we're gonna need for the Little League?
Yeah, sure.
That's exciting to get that going. I think
When they have their first.
We did get a
spring-
price, I did get a price from, those guys to put some, sculptures together. Can't remember if it was $300 or $500, it was one or the other.
it's not a lot. I remember you saying.
Probably depends on the size base needed too, right? Is it more material? They don't-
The first thing you do is call those people, find out what
What they
exactly,
think they need,
is required. And then, then I can call them, sure.
Okay, Shirley may have all that together, maybe.
I think they stay better looking longer if you have a base too, because they're gonna trim around it and everything. You know what I mean? And, those weed whacking guys don't care.
She's gonna be planted, she has plans to plant around it.
I'm sorry?
Shirley has plans to put plants around it.
Around it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk with her and see what she wants to put it on then. So that we can do it correctly, because we'll need some dimensions and so forth.
And that could be our first ARPA project.
Yeah.
Get that rolling.
So we just need to, I think February needs to set plans to finish.
The front,
plans out.
the front plan, yeah.
Okay, and also, if we ever wanted to do something just a little bit more, Graders, I think he still has it, but he has a shop up in Norwich that will do signs for you if you want to put something that's more permanent. It's like the Christmas tree one now, like I said, it needs to be more painted, but it's a metal one. And it says when we planted it and so forth.
Okay, so we need
If
to
you
know
could do
that.
something like that, do this one since it's going to be first.
The Esker Point or the,
Both of them.
okay,
I think that would be nice to do something that's
Permanent.
saying who did it.
And permanent.
beautification committee.
All right, well, I will be on the TV.
Okay?
You going down?
Nah, I have to wait for some blood work to come back before they'll let me go.
Me too, I said to him, now I'm going.
You can call me.
I said, you can call me, I'm going.
That's great.
Thank you
Make a
very
motion to
much,
adjourn.
We're
everybody,
in the modern
for
world. It
coming
doesn't have to
and
come.
listening to us tonight.
Call adjournment, please. Adjourn. You have to adjourn.
You have to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, yes. I
Thank you,
apologize.
Sharon.
I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for the reminder.
So do you know how to turn it off?
Yeah. There.
And then,
Hello
Hey,
there, now
Dana.
we see you.
How you doing?
Hey, Sharon.
Whoops. To be on the phone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
bye.
Okay, go ahead. You know which one to hit?
Not really.
Should be a power symbol. something.
Down underneath there. Down on,
No, well, have you stopped the meeting first?
yeah,
Leave.
Brian, you.
It's either,
Hmm.
I thought she said right down here.
Sure, it's not on the other side. What is that?
no,
I don't see it. Usually they have a red button there.
try here at the window.
Yeah, see. There you go. And then somewhere there should be a.
No.
And right over there on the right-hand side, you just had it. Just bring the cursor up a little bit. There it is, on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that,
There you go. And it was a secret.
They don't make it easy.